scamming American, European, Australian and other fools. This is how scammers on dating sites think about the people they deceive. Unpleasant, isn't it? But unfortunately for scammers, it's just a job. Just like working in your office or running your business is for you. Dear man, know this. If you've ever fallen for a scam on dating site, it will never happen again. Because after watching this video to the end, you'll not only learn 3 simple safety rules, but also uncover how this spider's web is constructed. It's all very simple. The thing is, almost everyone in Ukraine has either personally encountered or heard from others about this scam scheme. So this scheme, obvious to Ukrainians but a secret to you, will be revealed in just 3 minutes, complete with screenshots and evidence. The website targets wealthy men like you and partners with numerous agencies that recruit very attractive and often morally questionable women whose main value in life is money. These women are given professional photo shoots and their profiles are uploaded to numerous dating websites. After that, the agencies hire ordinary Ukrainians to chat with you on the website, pretending to be these attractive models. Working 8-12 hours a day, they will do everything to keep you engaged in conversations with them. You pay for every message or minute of chat, buy gifts, and even unlock paid private photos on the website. And voila, the site splits the money with the agency splits it with your lady and the person chatting on her behalf. And the lady spends her share on lip filters or something else. Here's what the market for selling these girls' profiles to various websites looks like. And here's what the job listings for hiring managers who chat on behalf of these girls on dating sites look like. I explained this scheme in more detail in this video. So what do we end up with? A wealthy man, let's call him Walt, is presented with a stunning beauty, perfectly tailored to his tastes, even better than he expected. Oh my gosh, she even shares his interests. He doesn't question why this glamorous woman with long nails is also into rare hobbies like fishing, cars, bowling, collecting, or chess. He doesn't wonder why she's online so often and can chat with him even when it's 5 a.m. her time. Why does she write so many letters or want to talk so often, pouring honeyed words into his ears about how much she misses him? There are plenty of suspicious factors he should have noticed, but our Walt has fallen in love. His reason is already clouded, and now he's caught in the web of an incredibly attractive and seductive spider who has already started draining him dry. A dramatic story, but not one of love, one of deception. The outcome for our Walt: a broken heart and a mix of negative emotions, wasted time from his life, hundreds, often thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars spent. What conclusion can we draw from this? Here are 2 valuable tips for you. First, avoid dating websites where the source of income is paid messages or chat minutes. Run away from such sites. Their motivation is to drain as much money from you as possible, not to help you find a partner. I personally know many examples of men who were scammed out of money this way. You might be very surprised to hear this, but based on my experience, many men choose to continue being used by these women. Any guesses why? The answer: because for them it's a transaction. Imagine an elderly man in retirement. Let's call him Tom. He's lonely, doesn't take care of himself, and like all men, he wants to feel needed, strong and desired. He wants to feel like a man. And then a young, stunning, well-groomed beauty with a gorgeous body initiates contact with him. She writes to him every day, telling him how wonderful, manly and handsome he is. Truly the man of her dreams. She promises they'll live together someday and even hints at being intimate. She sends her photos and videos, sometimes in a swimsuit and sometimes not. Do you think this man will reject such a beautiful illusion of deceit? Why would he want to live this rosy world of fantasy? Especially when so many other beauties on the dating site are also trying to win over someone as unique as him. After all, to become attractive and well-groomed, he would need to make an effort. But why do that when he can simply pay on a dating site and get the illusion of everything he desires? Increased attention from attractive young women and sometimes even dates and enjoyable time spent in the company of beauties. I've read many such stories from men in the comments on my posts and other bloggers' pages. Men sharing how they traveled to Kiev or a European country to meet an attractive Slavic woman, how they went to expensive places, spent thousands of dollars on lavish gifts, and eventually realized it was a scam. But do you know what's even more surprising? Many of them say they enjoyed it, that even thought they were deceived, they had a great time. And it seems that such conclusions are what fuel the rise of scams in this sphere. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. But don't worry, at the end of the video I'll tell you what to do if you're looking for true and genuine love with a Ukrainian or Slavic woman. But for now, here is the second piece of advice. If you don't want to fall victim to scammers, don't let yourself be blinded by illusions. Always check for signs of fraud when dealing with people you don't know well, no matter how kind or charming they may seem. Some of these signs we've already touched on. Others are quite obvious and can be noticed if you set aside your emotions and think critically. But if you'd like me to record a video explaining how to spot scammers in the dating world, let me know in the comments under this video. Guys, please be careful. Losing money isn't the worst thing. It can be seen as a valuable life lesson, but falling deeply in love only to find out that you've been cruelly deceived for years, that can leave lasting scars. Many men and women encounter similar scams even in Ukraine. There are countless stories of women falling deeply in love with men only to discover a few years later that their beloved had been using them, transferring ownership of their apartment to himself and leaving them completely penniless. You might ask me, Mary, how can I control falling in love? After all, it's a chemical process in my body. And I'll answer, tell me, how did it happen that emotions took over and the rational mind was switched off? Because he allowed himself to fall into desperation. Desperation to find a woman, to feel loved, or to feel like a man. There could be countless reasons, but to avoid falling into the trap, don't be desperate. Guys, be honest with yourselves. You need to understand exactly what you want. Do you want to live forever in a world of illusions, or become the kind of man an attractive and honest Slavic woman would be crazy about? The search for the right woman can be challenging, even unpleasant at times. You'll encounter women who aren't a good match for you. And even when you meet the one, as I recently confirmed my opinion from a lecture by Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson, she will have many strengths, but also her own flaws. She might not be perfect for you right away. Only over time you will be able to smooth each other out like pebbles in the sea. If you don't want to go through the meaningful journey of searching for someone now or in the near future, that's absolutely fine. If you feel like escaping reality and even spending money on places where charming, sexy ladies will flatter you, That's also fine. Maybe it will help you build confidence, draw the right conclusions, get an energy boost, or simply relax in this way. All of that is perfectly normal. The key is not to get stuck in this state, as it's a kind of dopamine addiction. You already understand how some Slavic women use foreigners. They extract as much money as possible using the most effective tool, dating websites. Let me clarify, I'm not talking about all Slavic women in the world. I'm only referring to those who have chosen the path of scamming and deception on dating sites and in life. I get comments under almost every video saying, "Mary, recommend dating sites where I can meet real Ukrainian women." My answer is this. Guys, if you truly want to find serious, honest and genuine relationships with attractive Ukrainian women, I advise not to use dating websites. There are plenty of places, both online and in person, where you can meet your true Slavic love. But that's a topic for a separate video. If you want me to make a video on where to meet real Ukrainian women, let me know in the comments. And give this video a like. And now the most essential part. How do you avoid becoming the fool who gets scammed? If you follow these three main rules, you'll stay safe. The first rule, which most men break even after bitter experience, I was shocked. Remember, never ever send money to women you've met on a dating site. No matter what stories they make up for you or how much they play on your sympathy. Remember, a scammer will say anything to get you to send them money. That's their main goal. Don't fall for pity, provocations and manipulations. Listen not to your emotions, but to your rational mind, the one that says, something is off here, let's check it out. Let me introduce you to the most common requests scammers make so you're prepared. First, the roof is leaking and urgent repairs are needed. Second, there is a war and she needs to relocate urgently but don't have the money. Third, she is sick and need to see a doctor immediately. Fourth, a child, mother or close relative is ill and she needs to pay for treatment urgently. Fifth, she's been diagnosed with an illness and needs to be hospitalized or pay for surgery. Sixth, she has no money for food. Seventh, she can't pay her rent. If you send money to a girl you met on a dating site, know this. She might not even be aware of your existence. The amount you transfer is either split between the agency staff and the girl, or it all stays with the agency. If you hear a story that the girl supposedly cannot accept money in her own name and asks you to send it to her friend's, sister's, mother's name or anyone else with a different last name, know that this is 100% a scam. The second rule, never trust any matchmaking agencies. Not the sites themselves, but the agencies acting as intermediaries. Honest agencies do exist, but even I wouldn't be able to verify how honest they are. You'd have to rely on trust and hope. Their number is very small, and the chances of you actually finding a trustworthy agency are close to zero. You are a foreigner, which makes you easier to manipulate, deceive and control. You won't recognize many tricks that Ukrainian would know simply by living in Ukraine. For example, did you know that many beautiful women in Ukraine deliberately avoid registering with agencies because they don't want anyone scamming you on their behalf? Have you realized yet that the very woman you're looking for isn't working with agencies? And even if she is, finding her is like searching for a needle in a haystack. I would like to say that using an agency's services is acceptable only if it's recommended by very close friends. However, even this isn't a guarantee that your friend hasn't been scammed. They might just not have realized it yet. Therefore, if you want to find your true love, don't buy it. Don't pay for letters, chats, dates, or contact with Ukrainian or other Slavic women. I'll give you one specific example. Recently, a subscriber of mine with whom I started communicating shared a story about his experience purchasing a service from a prominent Ukrainian blogger. She runs her own agency with Ukrainian women. He told me the following: he paid $120 for a single contact with a woman. He said, after the purchase, the owner of this agency gave me a link to a site where I can buy gifts for the girl. That was the first or second sign that this was a scam. I contacted the girl on WhatsApp. She told me her birthday was last month and demanded flowers and fruits. I told her or him that it was a scammer, and the person laughed and admitted to be a scammer, and that was the end of it. I made reports of this, but the owner of the agency denies that this is a scam. He writes, the profile of the alleged girl is still up. Just a story for you if it can be useful. Women can indeed be different, and perhaps this is just a misunderstanding, you might say. I thought so too, but when he reported this incident to the owner of the agency, she denied that it was a scam, and she hasn't returned the money. Judge for yourself whether this is true or not. I have no way to verify this information. My subscriber had no reason to lie to me. He simply shared his story of disappointment and allowed me to share his experience with you. So, I'm not saying this to highlight how a particular Ukrainian blogger operates or to judge her. No, it's her business how she runs her agency and the business of the men who buy her services. I'm sharing this to prove to you that if this story is true, how slim your chances are of finding an honest agency. If even a blogger with an audience of 200,000 people could treat her clients this way. The third rule: pay attention to the details. I have a subscriber who shared his story in the comments, where he suspects his Ukrainian female girlfriend, whom he hasn't yet entered into a relationship with, of lying because of a couple of minor inconsistencies in her words. You could call this person paranoid, or you could say, like I do, well done. A person who doesn't want to be deceived will think twice. Ask again, try to uncover the truth and figure things out, rather than simply avoiding an unpleasant conversation of thinking everything will be fine. Listen to your male intuition and give this video a like if you found it helpful.